Sometimes the most revealing moments happen when nobody expects them. It wasn't a red carpet appearance. It wasn't a magazine cover shoot with a team of retouchers standing by. It was just Kelly Ripa sitting across from a co-host on a weekday morning, talking about something as simple as her skin, and somehow, that offhand moment ended up saying more about her than half the headlines written about her career. Because here's the thing about Kelly Ripa's glow. For years, viewers have watched her walk onto that set looking sun-kissed, radiant, effortlessly bronzed. The kind of look that makes you assume there was a beach vacation in her recent past. And every time she's been asked about it, her answer has stayed almost suspiciously simple. Not a spa retreat. Not a week in the Caribbean. Just a small bottle of tanning drops, added into her regular moisturizer, morning after morning. It sounds almost too ordinary to matter. And yet that's exactly why it does. Because if you think about it, there's something quietly disarming about a woman who has spent decades being scrutinized. Her appearance, her age, her energy, her marriage, choosing to answer a beauty question with total honesty instead of mystique. She didn't lean into the illusion. She didn't let people believe there was some elaborate secret. She just said, essentially, this is what I do, it's affordable, it works, and you can do it too. That kind of transparency is rarer than people realize in daytime television. So much of the industry runs on the idea of unattainable glamour, the sense that the people on our screens exist on a different plane with different resources, different rules. Kelly Ripa breaking that illusion, even in something as small as a tanning routine, tells you something about how she's built her relationship with her audience over the years. She's never tried to seem untouchable. If anything, she's leaned the opposite direction, sharing the mundane, the practical, the here's what's actually in my bathroom cabinet version of herself. And maybe that's the real reason this story keeps circulating years after she first mentioned it. It's not really about the tan. It's about what the tan represents. Think about how many times viewers have watched Kelly and Mark Consuelos sit next to each other on that couch, cameras rolling, cracking jokes about their marriage, their kids, their morning arguments over coffee or car keys. That's the brand they've built together, not polish but familiarity. Not perfection but recognizable, relatable chaos. A beauty secret that costs less than a dinner out fits that same identity perfectly. It says, even the glow you see on television is something ordinary people can replicate. There's no velvet rope around it. It's worth pausing on why that resonates so deeply with the audience that has followed Kelly for this long. Many of the viewers watching live have grown up alongside her, through her run on All My Children, through years of morning television, through marriage, motherhood, empty nesting, and now grandparenthood. They've watched her age in real time, on camera, without the luxury of disappearing between projects the way some celebrities do. And in that visibility, audiences have quietly been asking the same question for years. How does she keep doing this? How does she keep showing up, present and radiant, decade after decade? The tanning drops answer is small, but it hints at a bigger truth, that Kelly Ripa's approach to aging in public has never been about chasing an impossible standard. It's been about maintenance, consistency, and a kind of practical self-care that doesn't require secrecy. She works out relentlessly, she's spoken openly about her discipline with fitness, and even her approach to something like a self-tanner reflects the same philosophy. Small, repeatable habits instead of dramatic interventions. That consistency is part of what makes her so watchable next to Mark. Their dynamic has always worked because neither of them performs perfection. Mark teases her, she teases him right back, and somewhere in that back and forth, viewers get glimpses of an actual marriage, not a curated one. When Kelly casually reveals something like a tanning routine, it fits into that same pattern of honesty. It's not a brand deal moment engineered to sell a product. It reads more like something she'd tell a friend at a coffee shop, and it just happened to be captured on camera. There's also something to be said about timing. This kind of story tends to resurface whenever people are craving a version of glamour that feels reachable, especially heading into seasons when a golden, sun-kissed look becomes culturally desirable, but actual sunshine or vacation time isn't realistic for most people's schedules or budgets. In those moments, a small, inexpensive product endorsed by someone audiences already trust becomes more than a beauty tip. It becomes a kind of permission. Permission to feel put together without needing an extravagant trip. Permission to borrow a little bit of that, just got back from the beach, energy without actually going anywhere. And maybe that's part of why fans reacted the way they did when this detail first made the rounds. Flooding comment sections asking for the exact product name, wanting to know precisely how she achieved that glow. It wasn't just curiosity about skincare. It was curiosity about her. About the idea that someone so consistently polished on screen might have an answer this normal, this human, this within reach. It's easy to overlook how much trust it takes for an audience to want that kind of detail from a celebrity in the first place. People don't ask, "What's your secret?" out of idle interest. They ask because they've already decided somewhere along the way that this is someone worth listening to. Someone whose answers feel honest rather than staged. That trust doesn't come from one interview. It comes from years of Kelly showing up unfiltered, joking about her insecurities, admitting to bad days, letting Mark rib her on live television without flinching. So when she says something as simple as, "You just put a few drops into your moisturizer and go to bed," it lands differently than it would coming from someone the public barely knows. It becomes proof of something bigger, that the version of Kelly Ripa on screen and the version off-screen aren't as far apart as celebrity culture usually trains us to expect. There's a gentler lesson tucked into all of this too, one that goes beyond tanning drops entirely. It's the idea that glow, the kind people notice, the kind that makes someone look lit from within, often has less to do with a single product and more to do with routine self-respect and a refusal to overcomplicate things. Kelly didn't describe some elaborate 12-step ritual. She described something quick, low effort, and repeated consistently over time. In a culture that often equates beauty with expense and exclusivity, there's something almost quietly rebellious about a public figure insisting that her glow comes from something so accessible. Maybe that's the real story underneath the surface-level headline. Not the price tag. Not even the product itself. But the reminder that a lot of what draws people to Kelly&Mark decade after decade isn't the polish, it's the honesty peeking out from underneath it. The way small moments like a tanning routine mentioned almost as an afterthought end up revealing something bigger about who they are and why audiences have stayed loyal for this long. Perhaps the reason so many people remain invested in Kelly&Mark isn't simply because they've spent decades in the spotlight. It's because audiences continue to see something genuine in the way they navigate life together, glow and all. So here's a question worth sitting with. What is it about Kelly Ripa that makes even her smallest, most ordinary admissions feel worth talking about years later? Is it the honesty? The consistency? Or simply the fact that she's let us in for this long? Let us know in the comments what you think, and while you're at it, share your favorite Kelly&Mark moment, the one that made you feel like you were watching real people instead of just two more faces on a screen.